That's why. Oh, no, that's working.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all?
How's everybody doing today on this wonderful love day?
Yes, yes, yes. I hope everyone has had or is having a great Valentine Day.
Yes.
I'm going to say howdy to Michelle Mosaic. She's been sitting here waiting for a while, folks.
Yep.
And there is that Izzy from
Yes,
Doggy
yes.
Line?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. And there is Sam. How are you, sweetie? And there's D Yummy. There's my little Candy. How are you doing, sweetheart? There's Amy. I hope that you are kid free now.
Yes.
And there's Tina and Lana. How are you, lovelies, this afternoon?
Oh,
Oh,
great.
there's Lana and Amy Tierney.
Yes. How are you, Amy T? Well, I'm just going to say that Froggy is having weather issues that's affecting her electricity and her internet. So she might be able to pop in, but I haven't seen her for over an hour now. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna.
I'm afraid she's out again.
Yeah, I'm afraid she is too.
But
Oh,
Hi,
there's my
Sunita
Leslie.
and
Yes,
Leslie.
how are you?
Hi.
hey, there's my Mary.
Yes.
And
Leslie, you and
Matona.
Dwayne left for your Valentine party this evening. There's Carrie. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello, Miss Carrie.
Hello.
Yeah, Leslie's going out on an official date tonight. Woohoo!
Ooh.
Yes,
You're going to have to tell us all about it.
yes.
Yeah, come on. We gotta
Please
get the
send us some
details
pictures.
out.
That's right. Please send us some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi,
Hello,
Ann.
Diane.
And
Hey,
Laura.
Laura.
Oh,
Hey,
and
Di.
Laura. Hello, Laura, sweetie.
She made it back.
Hello, Jeannie.
Hello, Jeannie. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart.
And
I'm
there's our
sorry, my little.
fantastic, wonderful Granny D.
There is my
Yes.
Granny D. Oh, awesome. Granny D, I don't know if I have.
Yes. Okay, thank
I can
you.
do this one. I'm sorry I don't have my special welcome in for you, Granny D. That's the best I can do. You know, Froggy has all that stuff, so I'm just
Yes.
gonna have to make sure she loads it over here on my channel.
Well, I can do her.
Pebbles, there
We
you
love
go.
you,
Yes,
Granny
Yeah.
D.
we can
Yes,
do this for
ma'am.
her.
And
Hello, Pebbles, sweetheart. I haven't seen you in a long time.
if it ain't Maureen's buttons, we don't want her pushing them. So we, we're doing
Yeah,
really
no.
good with what we get.
Hello, Tony. How you doing
Hi,
this
Panda.
evening? Did you take Michael
Hi,
out for a
Chris.
Valentine? Hello, Chris. How you doing? Oh, Leslie and Dwayne. They're having a true Valentine's date this evening.
Oh,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
oh my goodness.
They're about
You
to walk out the
guys,
door now.
those bags were from TFF. If you want to thank somebody, thank TFF on Sunday. They weren't
Oh,
from
thank
me.
you.
I just found them on YouTube and slapped them together. It's nothing to it at all whatsoever. So, you know,
I don't know your
Oh,
name, Panda, but our friend Leslie Korn is going on a date with her husband for Valentine's Day.
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that
Panda
was a
is
real
named
surprise.
Tony, and he is married to Michael from MDL Crochet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
Panda
it
is
is.
Tony.
Yes. His name is Tony.
Okay. Hi, Hi,
A
Tony.
lot of
I'm
folks know
Terry.
a lot of folks call him Panda, but y'all
I knew
behave
Miss
because I'm
Panda.
not
I
going
didn't know the
to.
name. I didn't know, you know.
His
Anyway,
first
it
name?
clicked.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Uh,
Oh, you don't? Aw. Hello, Mary. How are you this evening?
oh my
Leslie's
word! Y'all
behavior.
gonna behave. Don't get in trouble then. Just don't get caught. How about
yeah, you let him
Yeah, there you
drive.
go.
that? Yes.
Michael's out running some errands, and y'all don't normally do a whole lot for Valentine's Day. Well,
Yeah.
Neither do
hubby
I.
and I don't either at
Mm.
our age, and I mean our years of marriage. I think I've shared with some of y'all when I was going to college, and to help pay for some of my books and stuff like that, I worked at a florist shop. And folks, I hate to burst your bubble, but I learned the markup on
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
flowers. Yes, and so
They're not worth it.
I told both my husbands, my first one and Wayne, don't you ever bring me flowers.
Mm.
No, 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 no. Especially for Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. Just don't do it.
You know
Go
what?
dig me something up out of the yard. Put it in a
Yes.
pot and
I've
bring it to me. Yeah.
told Chris for
Thank you,
we've
hon.
been together for 15 years. I don't do Valentine's. It's a Hallmark
Overrated. Yeah.
overrated. If you can't show me every day,
Yes.
Right. Don't
Yep.
try to show me one day a year.
yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Hello, Kristen.
Hello,
he brought
Kristen.
home.
How are you?
Hi, Kristen. He brought home a dozen um, daffodils, or no,
Uh-huh.
not daffodils. Oh, I forget. And another bouquet of flowers, and I'm just like, they're just gonna die in 3 days. Tulips, tulips,
Yep.
purple tulips.
Oh,
So I
tulips.
went out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
They're
tulips,
bad. Yep.
but I'd rather see them in the ground.
Oh,
Oh,
Amy's got
yes.
the White House now. Hubby's gone too. That's what I'm talking about. That's my
That's the
Valentine.
kind of, yeah. My first love, when we were so broke, we'd go to Walmart and read Valentine's cards to each other. Now, see, that's the kind of
Yes.
memories I like, Pebbles. That's too cute. That
Aw.
really is.
Hi, hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, Beth. How are you doing?
Hey, Elizabeth.
Oh, she's having a
Ooh.
Valentine's pizza party with her grand fur baby boy. Oh, how sweet.
Aw.
Oh, yeah.
Figaro
See, I
here and say good evening. So,
yeah, yeah. He is being
Oh.
very vocal tonight.
bleh. Hello, boyfriend.
He's my Valentine.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is so
Panda said
beautiful.
flowers are all right. I don't mind them. Stargazer lily is my favorite, but I would
Oh,
rather have the money spent on the flowers.
yeah.
Uh,
I like them as long as it's where you can plant them outside.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, me
Don't
too.
bring me cut flowers because, like Sherry said, they're just gonna die. You
Right.
They're
know?
gonna die in a couple of days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Now
I would
my
rather
love.
him spend it on my birthday, which is a week before.
yeah.
Before. Yep.
Now my late husband.
I love getting plants. I really do. Whether it be a house plant or something I can put out in a greenhouse or
Mm,
something like you said that I can put in the ground later. Oh, oh.
yeah. Now my late husband, he was bad to stop by like Dollar General, and they have those little
Mm-hmm.
bouquets, of with the
Yes.
daisies and the whatever,
Yeah,
whatever's in it. He would
Mm-hmm.
stop and get one of those just out of the blue,
just just
Right.
and he
because.
would bring them in, and he'd say, "These were pretty, made me think of you. I thought you
Oh.
might like them." And I'm like, "Oh,
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
that's the kind of flowers I like.
Yep.
yeah." He just out of the blue, I'd say, "Well, what did you do that for?" He said, "I don't know, just because."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm sorry,
Yep. Yep.
Pebbles.
I'm sorry, Pebbles.
Oh,
But you had a great memory that you shared with us, and that was so sweet.
Yep.
Very, very sweet. Well,
Yep. Yep.
it is Valentine's Day, so we're going to share a little bit of Valentine history with you, and then we can just chat on whatever it is you'd like to chat on. So let's see. Valentine's Day is a holiday celebrated every February the 14th, and this year it falls on Friday. Across the United States and other places around the world, candy, flowers, and gifts are exchanged between loved ones, all in the name of St. Valentine. But who is this mysterious saint, and where did these traditions come from? So
Hi, doggy life.
start out,
Sorry.
find out about the meaning and the history from the ancient Roman ritual. Yeah, that welcomed spring to the card-giving customs of Victorian England. So the history of Valentine's Day and the story of its patron saint is shrouded in mystery. We do know that February has long been celebrated as a month of romance, and that St. Valentine's Day as we know it today contains vestiges of both Christian and ancient Roman tradition. But who was St. Valentine and how did he become associated with this ancient rite? The Catholic Church recognizes at least three different saints named Valentine or Valentinius, all of whom were martyrs. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, he outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, if I can stop that.
Ooh.
Woo! Don't want to get hit with that one. Yeah. Uh, let's
Be careful.
see. Yeah, when Claudius decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, he outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Still others insist that it was St. Valentine's of Terni, a bishop who was the true namesake of the holiday. He too was beheaded by Claudius outside of Rome. Man, that guy just didn't like people, did he? Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during his confinement. Before his death, it's alleged that he wrote her a letter signed "From Your Valentine," an expression that is still in use today. Although the truth behind the Valentine legend is murky, the stories all emphasize this appeal as a sympathetic, heroic, and mostly important romantic figure. But by the Middle Ages, perhaps thanks to his reputation, Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and in France. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I think that's
Do
pretty
you
cool,
know,
man, myself.
do you know who designed the first Valentine card?
No, do you?
Yes,
No,
it was.
no
Who?
clue.
We we give out a chronicle every day to my residents, and in it was the name of the woman who designed the first Valentine's card, and her
Wow.
Oh,
name was, yeah, her name was Esther Howland,
Wow.
and she
Huh.
lived in
how cool.
Massachusetts. She was an artist and entrepreneur who founded a Valentine card company in Massachusetts in 1848.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, I'll be
And
darned.
I think the first year of her business, she made something like 100,000 or $300,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, that was a lot of money back then. Not that it's not
no, this is
anything to
way
sneeze
before
at now.
Hallmark.
Did she work at Hallmark?
No,
Yeah.
she did
Shoulda.
not work for Hallmark. She
Wow.
handmade her first cards and
Wow.
sold them.
Hmm.
So she was a crafter.
Wow. Panda says, I get a dozen chicken nuggets every year. Well, isn't
Yeah,
that
buddy.
cool?
That'd be my kind of dozen or
Yeah,
something.
me too. Jeannie says Pizza Hut is having heart-shaped pizza. Too bad I don't have one here.
Well,
Yep.
I do, but it's 26 miles north.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my goodness. Anna says, Panda, I have two favorite flowers, carnations, yes, and stargazer lilies, but I get big headaches from the lilies. So I'm cheap for flowers like the carnations. I get that. They give me a headache also. Which ones? The lilies or the carnations?
Probably
The
the
lilies.
lilies. They are very
Carnations
pungent.
don't have a smell.
Yeah.
You
Goodness
didn't.
gracious.
You didn't read all that.
Yeah, he said, well, after a day or two, they start smelling like pee. That's why I was asking which ones, the carnations or the lilies. I've never had any carnations that started to smell like pee after a couple of days.
No, I've never had anything that started to smell like pee after a couple of days.
I
wouldn't
know,
know
not
how
any
to
flowers,
start
to tell you
with.
the truth.
I was reading that while you was reading the Valentines thing. Yeah, I got tickled and I thought, well, I ain't never had something smell like pee.
Yeah.
There are a
Michelle,
few.
yellow roses are my favorite too.
Oh, my
Yep.
favorite is
Yep.
buttercups.
Mm-hmm.
I
No, mine
can't
is
approve enough of them.
yellow roses and sunflowers. Yep, yep.
I like all flowers.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I
a
like
cheap
all of
date.
them, but my favorite is buttercups.
Well, I love pretty much all flowers too, but hello, Bonnie. How are you doing?
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
Yeah.
I like ever since I was a little kid, I always liked the buttercups. I guess because
Mm-hmm.
I always thought they grew wild, but they don't.
Right.
They just keep coming back every year, and
Yep.
Right.
spread. So you think they're wild, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And
My
there's
grandma,
different kinds of them.
right. My grandma had the touch for growing roses. I am not
Oh,
kidding you. She could lop off a limb and stick it over here in the ground. Next thing you knew, she had another rose bush, But in amongst her rose
Yep.
bushes, she had the beautiful white Shasta daisies.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my word. Yes. So I always
That was my
associate roses
mother's
and Shasta
favorite.
daisies. Mm-hmm.
I love
That was
those.
my
They're
mother's
so
favorite.
pretty.
That and
They're hard to keep alive sometimes.
marigold.
Yes, they are.
My
You
mother
can't
loved
grow them out in West
marigold.
Texas.
Yeah, I like all
Marigolds, yes.
those. They reseed themselves so easily.
Oh, yes, they do.
One of the
And they're
reasons I
great to
like
put around the garden.
Yep, keeps the bugs off your
My
neighbors.
favorite flower is on a tree.
The tulip tree.
Lilac.
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
lilac. Okay, I was thinking dogwood myself.
Oh, lilac smells so good.
Yes,
But
it
I
does.
love the hyacinth better for the smell.
Mm-hmm.
The hyacinths
And
smell
the
better.
funny thing about lilacs were used way back when, especially when there were outhouses.
Mm-hmm. You always groom around the outhouses.
They would plant the lilac bush or tree. After they moved the outhouse, they would plant the
Yep.
lilac tree to get rid of the smell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you see a line of lilacs, you know where the
I was
outhouses
just
were.
moving that outhouse just a little further down the line.
Yes,
Well, it's not only because it helped with the smell, but you know how
Their roots go forever.
well, yeah, not only do they grow forever, but they also it helps to
build the soil back up.
Revitalize the soil.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say cleanse the soil, but yes, revitalize it. I
It
guess you could say.
balances out some kind of pH stuff.
Yes, there you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Jeannie says, I like hens and chicks and lily of the valley.
Yeah.
I like hen and chicks too.
And daffodil, I like lilacs too.
Mm-hmm. What are hen and chicks?
It's the little green succulents that
Yes.
they
Oh,
And
I know what
spread.
you're talking. Yes. Took me a
yes,
minute.
I
Took me
mean,
a minute.
just
have
cut off
one
a
little.
leaf and put it in the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's hard to make them. It's hard to make them root if you don't know what you're doing. But
That's
if
right.
right.
if you get one that's about this big around, then you'll start having little bitty ones growing all around it. And
Right.
it's
Right.
hen and chicks.
Yep. That's why it's called hen and chick or chicken hens. I don't know.
Yep, hen and chicks. Yeah.
Hens and chicks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, pebbles,
Uh,
fresh
oh,
magnolias in the water by the window. Oh,
Oh yes. My mom and dad's got a magnolia tree that when we moved into the house that they're in now. I was in the 6th grade, and that magnolia had just been planted. Well, they've got a picture of my little sister. I was 15 when my little sister was born, so she was just like maybe 6 or 7. The magnolia tree was just as tall as she was then. I mean,
oh, wow.
the picture, you can tell that's what it was. That thing is so big now you can't even get your arms around it.
Holy smokes.
It's huge.
Wow.
And oh man, it's intoxicating when it's
Yes, they are.
I mean, just you can walk outside and just go, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We
now,
toured several plantation homes in Natchez, Mississippi,
Oh
and
yes.
nearly every one of them would have bowls at the open windows with these white flowers in them. Of course, I couldn't get close enough to see what they were, so finally I had to ask,
Mhm.
people that stand around because there were some rooms that were roped off; you just couldn't go into them.
Yeah.
And I finally asked them, "What is in the bowls over there on the windows?" And as soon as they said magnolias, it was like, "Yep, that's what that smell is."
yep.
You know what I mean? But oh my word, there's no better air freshener than fresh
Oh yeah.
magnolia sitting in a bowl of water.
Yeah.
See,
As
when
long
I
as
was
you
a
don't
kid,
handle them. Sorry.
it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you handle them, the blooms,
Yeah,
they'll turn brown and
right,
die.
right. Where your fingers
Can't
touch the
touch them.
petals. No.
Yeah. The
See, when
least
I
you
was
touch it, the better you are.
Yeah.
Yep. When I was a kid, and you were saying roped off rooms, we went to um, oh, where Leslie goes to quite
Maine,
often
Maine.
the Biltmore.
Oh, Biltmore.
Asheville.
Yes.
And when I was a kid, they would put magnolias in the bowls.
Yep.
hmm
I remember that so vividly because I was like, "What is that smell?"
Mm-hmm.
They
It
last
just
longer.
permeated. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you put them in a bowl of water where the blossom is sitting
Yeah.
on the water,
Yeah.
it lasts longer than if you've got it put in a vase by the stem because
Right.
that blossom is so heavy it hangs over
Yeah.
and it'll
Yep.
cause the petals to fall off faster. That's why
Yep.
they
Well.
started putting them up, turn them over in the bowl.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, but like you said, the flower itself is so heavy that when it starts to tilt like this, it bends its stem to the point where it can't get water.
Yep.
I mean, it sucks it up so far and then that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a heavy on itself.
Yeah.
It'll just fall off.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just
Michelle said, I bought a house because of a magnolia once because two were just the same to purchase.
okay.
My other favorite flower is a dogwood.
Yeah, I like
Yes,
dogwoods.
I love the dogwood. Oh my goodness, there's
Yes.
So beautiful.
Yep. But they really,
Or
when they first start, when they just
uh-huh.
pop out, they stink.
Hmm.
You have to
Well,
wait until
I'm not
the
saying that
flowers
they
come out.
smell good.
No,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't smell very
They're just
fragrant at
pretty.
all. And they're green when they first the
Oh,
blossom first comes
Yes,
out.
Pebble says that's what we did, Sherry K. Granny used her blue depression glass candy
yes.
bowl. Oh, how neat.
Yep.
Now, if
Yep. Get a really pretty bowl and set it in the window so the light could hit it. And then put
Mm-hmm.
that magnolia in there on water.
it
Yep.
wasn't so cold up here,
Right,
I would have a magnolia out there,
Yeah,
right.
or
they will
3,
freeze.
or 5, or 7.
They will
Oh,
But
freeze and it will kill them. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
sure will.
quickly.
yeah, very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand. Michelle had the choice between two houses,
Ah,
but one of them had a 35-foot tall magnolia tree, and that's why she bought it.
that
Yeah.
sounds
I'd have
like
bought it
good enough
too,
reason.
Michelle.
Yeah, good enough reason for me.
That's right. I'd have bought it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. The house I grew up in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
my mom and dad planted a dogwood
Dogwood.
right by. Yes, you go out the door, you go down the stairs, you got a sidewalk that went to the left. They had a dogwood
Oh,
right at the edge,
Mm.
and oh,
They're everywhere here where I live. They're everywhere. I mean, you can see them
yes.
just driving down the highway. You can look to the left or right in the woods, and you can see the little
Right.
white balloons. It's Easter
yep,
time.
That's right. That's right.
They're always blooming here right before Easter, or by
Mm-hmm.
Easter. They're bloomed anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When Amy lived in Meridian, Mississippi, her backyard had no trees whatsoever, but the two houses on either side of her did. And the
Mhm.
lady, when you stepped out the back door to the right of her, had two huge magnolias. And we
Oh,
would sit
hmm
out there late in the evening
oh
when we
yes,
spent time
smells
there
so
with her.
good. Mm,
Yep,
smells so
out there
good.
late in the evening, fight the mosquitoes and smell the magnolias.
Just get a little bit of a
yep,
breeze coming, and you just
Yeah.
oh yeah,
just get a
oh
big deep
yeah.
breath.
Mm-hmm.
All you
Yep.
need is just a
Well,
little bitty breeze.
that
Yes.
property that my parents had bought when I was a kid had been woods. They were just pine trees and oak trees and that kind of stuff. So to make the lawns look nice, they were buying all kinds of different flowering bushes and trees
Oh
and
Yeah.
yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I remember where my great grandmother and grandfather's house was. She had a lilac bush planted on each side of the walkway that went straight up to her front
Mm-hmm.
porch, and
Yeah.
they were huge. I'm talking, you couldn't get your arms around them, and they
Yeah.
would have so many blooms on them that in the summertime when they went to blooming, you couldn't go between the two of them because of the bumblebees.
Yes.
You had to go way around them.
That's the way
I
it is
have
out in West Texas. If you have the purple sage
Oh
um,
yes.
planted
I
out
like
there,
sage.
and it only blooms, folks, right before you're going to get a rain. And
Mhm.
I mean, when those things bloom, you talk about bees coming out of the crevices everywhere.
Everywhere.
They are right there. And we made the
Yep.
mistake of planting one, well, really one on either side, but only one survived. To the we have a front porch and then steps going up to it. When we
Mm,
bought two purple sages, one to put on either side, with the intentions of keeping them trimmed. Well, I
sure.
lost one almost immediately and didn't replace it, so I let the other one
Just
to grow.
Just grow.
Yes. And it grew and it grew and it's still a growing. But boy, when that thing blooms, if there's a bumblebee within 100 miles, they're there.
Yep,
Mm,
exactly. You know, back when I was a little girl, we had a place that we went swimming at all the
Yep.
time in the creek. And I happened to notice that there was some flowers blooming one spring. They so pretty. Some kind of lilies, but
mm-hmm.
stank. Oh my word. You wouldn't believe how bad these things stink. But they
Yeah.
so pretty. I mean, and they're
Little bitty
bright
white
white.
ones,
No, they're big.
bright white.
They were
Oh, well,
bright,
the ones
bright white.
I'm thinking of were little.
Now the
Yeah.
blooms on these were big. It was a big, and it was a thick stem and a
Huh.
real thick blade that come out
Right.
and had the rounded tip on the end. It was a true lily. Why it was growing up beside the creek, I don't know, but it stank. Oh, that thing. Mama brought it home
Gran-
and planted it right beside the front door and had to move it the next year because it smelled so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Green,
Stuff.
Granny D said there's some old timey jasmine. And oh,
Yes.
yes,
Oh yeah.
jasmine. Oh, oh,
No,
And
there
tiny
wasn't a
gardenias.
plants.
lily.
And the flowers smell
Wasn't
so good. Yes, they do.
yeah.
Yes.
And
It
Diane,
wasn't a
my
daylily
faves
Granny
are
D. I know what
gardenia
those
and
are.
lilacs. I have them strategically planted. I love gardenias as well.
Oh, I do
Oh
too.
yeah. That was my first mother-in-law's favorite was a gardenia.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Uh,
I know
Yeah,
what
you
I
know,
know what daylilies are, and that wasn't it, Granny D. It was I don't know what brand of
gardenias
lily that was.
bloom. Gardenias will bloom once every other year,
I know. But that's what makes
but
them
they've
so
got these.
special when they do bloom.
Mhm.
Yes, but their
Yeah.
foliage is beautiful.
Oh
Beautiful.
yeah.
Looks like fake leaves. It's so waxy looking.
Yes, they do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
She loved
we
them.
agree. Gardenias are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She
They're
where she
beautiful.
always wanted to plant hers though were under pine trees, and I tried to tell her they wouldn't grow there because they wouldn't get enough sun.
Nope.
But that's where
Right.
she wanted them, and she wouldn't have it no other way, so they died.
Oh goodness. Granny
They
D
blew
says
one
she
time and
thinks
died.
it's pretty, but she doesn't care for the smell. And Diane says hers bloom every single year because she has them planted in a
So
row.
yeah, if you plant like
Okay.
3 or 4
Okay.
in a row, then they will bloom off. This will bloom, this one
Yes.
won't, this one will, this one won't. So it looks like
Oh,
they're
gotcha.
all blooming all the time.
Yeah. See, I just had one hanging in my living room. So every other year, and I only
Right.
had one. And even back 20 some odd years ago, they were expensive to buy.
Oh, they still
Mhm.
are. They still
Yeah.
are.
No, it's not the so much that they were in shade. Too bad, Diane. The gardenias don't like the acid that a
Pine
pine tree
tree.
makes.
Pine tree
Right.
gives
The,
out.
the pine needles, when they hit the ground, they acidize the top of the dirt so
Right.
much that the gardenias don't like it. That it will kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that it was too much shade. It was just the pine tree itself.
Yeah.
You can't. There's not a whole lot of stuff that'll grow under a pine tree.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, there is some stuff, but it's not. It ain't worth trying to plant it and take care of it. Not to me.
Right.
It's not.
Yep.
Not up under a pine tree.
One
And
year
there's a lot of trees down there.
for Valentine's Day, my girls got together and got me some hydrangeas. Now that's another plant that I
Oh yeah,
really, really like.
yeah.
And we planted them on the north side of the house in this one corner. And of course, every year they came back and they, were just beautiful. But the first year we planted them, they weren't quite ready to bloom. I mean, it was just the plant themselves. And the girls, were a little disappointed. And I said, no, 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 no. It's not time for them to flower yet. But I said they'll come on.
Mhm.
Well, when they did, and they finally started putting on the buds and started turning colors, part of it was purple and the other part was pink.
Purple, blue,
Yep.
pink.
A purpley
Wow.
blue and pink on the same bud head. And what we finally figured out was that where I had planted them, part of the soil was a little less acidic than
Mhm.
the other. And
Yep.
so the part of the plant that was in the more acidic soil got the
Change
deeper
colors.
purpley
Yep.
blue color. I was like,
You
oh
can
my goodness.
you
So
can
after
take
that,
railroad ties,
yes,
old railroad ties,
that's
and
exactly what
put
we
them
were
down
told to
in the
do.
dirt, and it'll
Hmm.
change the color of the flowers.
Yep.
You used to could do it with nails, but now they use that galvanized
Yeah.
stuff on them, and that you can't. That's not. Don't put those in the ground because the plants don't like that galvanized stuff.
See,
Gotta
when I
say,
was
oily stuff
16,
that's on it is.
Right.
I bought
Uh,
my dad a rhododendron, and
oh,
everybody kept saying, don't put it in full sun. It does not like it.
Mm,
When dad passed away in 2020, this plant was at least 15 feet tall,
oh
oh
my
my.
goodness.
Ooh.
and you could not put your arms around it. You it
Mm,
would it was huge.
Mm,
right.
And we had planted it in the corner of some railroad ties that he had built up his lawn, and
Mm-hmm.
railroad ties to
yep.
shore it up, and it loved it there. And it was in full sun all the
Mhm.
time.
Wow.
And it had the
Wow.
most beautiful
Mammy
flowers.
G, how are you, sweetheart? How you
Really?
feeling?
Hi.
Oh,
Hello, Nanny
I'm so
G.
glad to see you here.
Yes, we've been missing you, sweetheart, but I do hope that you're healing good.
Yes, definitely. Missed you so
Oh, we
bad. It
so
tickled me to death to see you here.
Mm-hmm. Chris says that her second favorite flower is chocolate mint, but you can
Ooh,
hardly ever get rid of them. I don't think I've ever seen a chocolate mint. I mean,
it's
other
just
than
like
a cookie.
it looks
chocolate mint
almost
is
like a
more of an
spearmint.
herb. Yep,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
really?
an herb.
Just a green plant.
Yes.
You pick
Yep.
it and you can crush it in your fingers and smell it. Smells just like chocolate.
Wow,
Yes.
I'm going to have to get me some.
It's
It's an
amazing. I
herb.
didn't believe it till I did it myself. I did not
Yes,
believe it.
ma'am.
Well, I'll be
Surely,
darned.
surely
We are so
does.
glad you made it, Nammy.
Yes,
Yes, we
ma'am.
are. I
But I
hope
do
you get
hope
with
that you're sitting
coming
back and
soon.
resting while you're listening to us.
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
We
my
missed
goodness.
you so bad.
Yes, we have.
If you
I
like
have.
chocolate mint ice cream, you will love chocolate mint herb.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Because that's what it smells like. That's
Yep.
exactly what
Chocolate
it
mint
smells like.
cookie, huh?
Chocolate ice cream.
And you can
Chocolate.
also make a tea out of it.
Yep.
Well, I know
And
you
it
can.
makes it taste like chocolate mint.
My goodness.
Sure does. My mom
Yep.
has spearmint that she's got planted for that particular reason. She keeps it picked and keeps puts it in her tea, and she tries to keep it put in the freezer so that she'll have it all year long to put
Right.
in her tea. She loves it.
Well,
I
I
don't like
do
it.
know that we have spearmint. That's all we've ever grown out in West Texas, but I keep it in pots because
Yes,
I
Diane. She is.
know,
Oh yes, very
yeah, I know
invasive.
it can get
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Yep,
Yep.
very invasive.
Diane
And
Froggy
yes,
is doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
doing
good.
good.
They had a lot of trees down that were on the power lines, on
Oh,
the internet lines, and things like that. And
Yes.
they had several that had fallen on their top of their trailer during the night, but it didn't do any kind of damage or anything. Her husband got
nope.
out and got them off the next morning,
Yeah,
and didn't do any mess anything up with their chimney or anything. So they still have heat, no problem at
right.
all. It's just that there's so many trees on the power lines that
Yes.
it's ridiculous. And without
Yeah.
the power, the internet doesn't work for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
But she's
So
doing good. She just bored to death, she said.
she's been out in her truck, you know, on her cell phone. She's been talking about she couldn't read her audio books because you know that takes internet. She's crocheted until she's just
yeah.
bored with it.
She
And
should
of
have
course,
run out
you
of
know, yeah, and she can only do it a little bit at a time because it'll cause her wrist to swell. Her
Mhm.
Right.
husband, of course, has not had access to the TV, so
She said that, hey, she's going to kill me for telling this, but she said that he told her that she needed supervising or entertaining or something like that. And I said, yeah, constantly.
oh yeah, you got a lot
He had
of
been
ice
with her
on
all
you.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of ice. Yeah.
But
Yes,
yeah,
she did.
she can only crochet so long because it makes her wrist swell up and it hurts. And she said she read till she had a headache, so she couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find their cards, so they couldn't play gin rummy. And she was just bored to death. And I said, bless your heart.
And of course, I had to tell her, you know how I felt
down.
whenever I didn't have internet. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure the electricity is okay. It's just they
Oh
were
yeah.
having trouble, you know, with the internet. But
Yeah.
they did drive us. They were going to try to go into town to take their trash to the dump because, you know, out where they live, they have bears and raccoons and skunks and
Yes.
possums, I'm sure. So they wanted to get the trash to the dump. They get all the way down there and it's closed. Um,
Oh no.
You
yeah.
should have seen the trees
Oh my
that were
goodness, guys.
hanging over the road. I'm
And on
talking
the power lines.
just like this, just as tall as their truck. They were just barely squeaking under them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
was
I
holding my
missed all
breath
that
all the
because
way.
I was working.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
remind you of your ex-mother-in-law, Diane. I hope she's a good person. A lot of mother-in-laws are not.
Yeah.
I'm the version of who you like. Your mother-in-law or
Her
Froggy?
mother-in-law.
Oh,
Excuse me.
goodness.
But yeah.
I am what I am. That's for sure. I don't try to pull no punches or be something I'm not. I ain't gonna do
No.
She's my baby sister.
Mm.
I just am what I am. I try to be nice and I try to think before I say things. I try. Sometimes it just slips out before I can catch it, though.
She
Oh,
takes
yeah.
after me.
You just don't know my mama, or you'd know who I took after. Woo, she's a pistol. At 80 years old, she's still a pistol. I'm your tea.
To be hard, Connie, I know it. Oh, Diane was just saying that you
look like your
her.
twin.
Ah, okay. Well, that's okay too. You know, I'd love her. Or, you know, she looks like me. She's in poor shape, but. You know, everybody's supposed to have one of those little buttons that clicks over and tells you not to say stuff and, you know, flips and says, "Oop, nope, don't get into that." Yeah, mine don't work no more.
Yeah.
So
mine broke a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes, you
all
are very
know
beautiful in that scar.
Last
Go ahead.
Sunday was my 60th birthday, guys. And my little sister Connie made me this beautiful shawl.
Isn't it pretty?
Isn't it pretty? I have not taken it off except to go to bed.
You be careful out there, Michelle, sweetheart, and thank you so much for being with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. Love you.
That it is uber soft. I was so
It
amazed how
is.
soft it turned out. I was
It
like,
And
is.
man, this is so soft.
and what yarn did you
And
use for that, Connie?
It's Dreamcatcher is the name of it. I don't know. It was something one of y'all gave to me, so you know how
Oh,
that
good
works.
grief. Oh,
I've got some.
Do you? Oh man, it may have been you. Give
Yes.
it to me.
No. I got mine from Dan.
Ah, okay. That may be where it came from then.
could be.
It might have,
Could be.
Diane is saying
but
happy belated birthday.
Yes.
thank you. Yes, I'm 60.
Mm. Couldn't tell it by looking.
I don't act it.
Yeah.
Nope,
What would be the
definitely
fun in
not.
that, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look good on her. And it matches
Yeah.
her jacket just right. It
Oh,
looks like
yes.
a
Oh,
good jacket.
it. My jacket is a dark purple, and it just pops.
Mm-hmm.
Looks so
I've
good.
had more compliments on
I
this
bet it's
scarf.
warm too. I bet it is warm.
It is because when I
I
go
think it's
out,
had mostly wool in it, I think.
mm, mm,
So it
mm,
was good warm.
Mm-hmm.
it is. I,
I know while I was
I,
crocheting it, I was like, man, this thing's hot. I had to pick it up and fan. Yeah.
I've had people come up and rub on it.
Oh my
Oh,
word.
Oh yeah, I wear.
oh my
I mean,
goodness.
nursing homes have to be
Yeah.
between about 80 to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Right.
I wear this baby up on the floor,
Oh my goodness.
and then
Oh
I
my
open a
goodness.
window.
I
I
bet
open
you
a window
do.
and
I
I
bet you
sit
do.
beside the
Yeah, it's warm. It's plenty warm. I'm telling you. Woo.
Oh goodness.
You see what Diane said? You look 40.
Yep.
See,
window. Thank you.
you don't look no
Connie
60.
did an awesome.
It's a
If you
beautiful pattern.
ever,
It's just a mod pattern.
Right.
I think it was
if
the latest one she had come out with at the time I started it. And
Oh,
it's
if
nice.
you
really pretty. Really pretty.
if you were ever lucky enough to get a Connie shawl,
Yep.
All right,
you
you guys,
will.
don't give me the big head. That's enough
Mm,
already.
oh, you can't keep your hands off of it for
Yep.
one, and just the love she puts into it.
Oh,
Amen.
I do that.
Yep.
I
Yep. Yep.
pray
Yep.
over everything I make. Everything I
Mm-hmm.
make. So those prayers for whoever it goes to from the time I start it till it gets finished.
And
So it
I
is made
definitely
with
needed
love.
those prayers.
Yeah, it's made with love, that's for sure.
It,
Yep.
I know.
And isn't that what we all do really whenever we sit down to make something special for someone? You
Oh
know,
yeah,
there's lots of thoughts and like you said, love that goes in each stitch. And um, quite frankly, I just got to say that, as Connie said, for many of us, while we're sitting there, our thoughts normally turn to God and the things that we want to stitch into it and let them know when they get it,
yep,
that it is something special.
yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
My little church back home, we make prayer shawls, and normally they go out when someone has lost someone or going through something very, um, well, okay, find out they have cancer, and they're going to have to go through treatments and things like that. And we'll come together and we all lay hands on the shawl and pray over it
Yes,
and give it to that person.
yep,
So,
Yes.
yep.
Yeah.
and it don't
Oh,
hurt a bit.
Diane.
That's what I got tickled at. I'm sorry.
Uh, or a bag.
Yeah, or a bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from
Oh,
my lovely older sister, I got my Bible in 52 weeks.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Study book. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm. My prayer book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Diane. It's burgundy shades. It goes
Yeah.
out
Yes,
to light pink, and it's
yes.
beautiful, saturated color. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And from my other little sister, who I introduced into nice writing
Mm-hmm.
instruments,
Well,
I
y'all got to see
received
this.
a fountain pen. And this is from Froggy,
It's
a
beautiful.
fountain pen.
Yes.
Mm, it's beautiful too.
Yes, it is.
That's the one that glows in the dark too, isn't it?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the
Of course,
Raven, isn't it?
it is called the Raven.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I have not loaded it yet because I haven't had
Candy.
5 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to be able to read my Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as how the other half of me is not feeling good this week, I get to sit
Right.
and be quiet and read.
Oh,
Yes.
that's good. Yes,
Yeah.
it does glow.
Yeah, it glows in
Uh,
the dark.
Yes.
Mhm.
Candy said, I'll send Connie yarn to make me one.
I saw that.
Okay.
They do it all the time, Candy. You wouldn't be the first one, I promise.
Oh, Jenny. He says, I've got to make me a shawl. Since I got out of the hospital, I just can't get warm. Oh,
Oh my
bless you,
goodness.
sweetheart.
Mm. Well,
Where's
I
the
can
one I
make you
sent you?
something to get you warm. Where's what? What?
Where is it?
It was Jeannie Crochet Creations. She said she had to make her a shawl since she got out of the hospital. She just can't get
Oh,
warm.
oh, I thought that was Nammy G. Sorry.
Oh no, 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 no.
Diane says, I have a few bandanas laying around, Connie. Wink, wink.
Well, a little birdie told me there may be some given away here pretty soon. So just
Yep,
stick
yep, yep,
around,
yep.
you know. You
And
never
Diane says
tell.
she wants to see the book again.
The Bible study book. Oh, good grief. It's like, whoa, there it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Bible study book for women.
yeah. Go through it in 52
Of course,
weeks.
it's, anybody can read it. I mean, anybody can
Yeah,
study it. It's not
Yeah.
absolutely.
particularly for women. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know, based on
Well, see,
women's stories in the Bible, I think.
Right. Oh, Jeannie
I
says she has some old-fashioned pens.
I grew up learning on fountain pens. That's what we used in school.
Me
I
too.
don't know
Exactly.
that the South you used fountain pen
Mm-hmm.
I never,
until the ballpoint came out, and it was
I
more
never wanted.
economical to use the ballpoint.
Well, I've used fountain pens all the way up until I was sophomore in high school. And we got in a new English teacher, and she did not like them. We all had to go out and buy the big blue pens, with the
Yep,
little clear body and
I
Yep,
little
was
blue
in
cap.
grade.
yep.
Yep,
I was in second grade.
yep.
We had number two pencils. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you couldn't
See,
get a
we had
number
to
two
learn.
pencil, you was bad off.
Mm-hmm.
We had to have number two pencils, but we also had to. We went to school with fountain pens.
We never were allowed to use pens up until I guess I was in high school. We weren't even
Oh,
Yes.
allowed to use them.
Oh no. That's
Oh
what we
no.
learned to write cursive with was
Mm.
I
the
learned
fountain.
cursive in the third grade with a pencil, and by the time I got in the fourth
Yep.
grade, no.
We had the pencil all the
Yeah.
time.
And then starting in the
Oh,
fourth grade, we went to fountain pens.
Hmm.
Everything was written with the fountain pen except math. It was written in pencil. But everything
yep.
else, you pulled
Math
out
was
that
in
fountain
pencil.
pen. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. And my father took all the fountain pens when they said to bring in the Bic pens because they didn't want the ink
Yeah.
because our desks were covered
Oh,
with
yes,
a
they were.
pad.
Ink stains, I
Our,
bet.
dink,
Yeah.
our desk was covered
Little
in a pad.
circles everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've never written with a uh, nib pen like that, but we weren't, like I said, we weren't allowed to use
Wow.
ink pens. Period. Till
Wow.
up in high school. But I didn't know what those was for a long time. I had
Mm-hmm.
never seen one of them. One
Right.
of the pens with the nib and the ink and stuff. I thought that was like back in George Washington's time. I didn't know people really did use them.
Oh,
You
yes,
know.
we did. Yes, we did. Yep. And Mom and Dad would buy boxes of the cartridges. I mean, boxes,
Yeah.
Mm.
and yep,
Oh
always
yeah,
made
the
We
sure
didn't
I
have,
had five in my little pencil bag. Yep.
we
there's
had the jar of ink.
Hmm. Y'all were lucky.
We didn't have the cartridge.
Yeah, we had the cartridges. Yeah.
Diane, you can buy the mechanical pencils,
Yep.
and those,
there's
even
all
though they
kinds of pencils that are not
Yep.
number twos. They're different
No.
numbers.
yeah, yeah, you
The
can get
Now
number
a
on the pencil is
sticker.
this is a big number two, but if you buy lead for it, it's actually a 0.9,
mhm,
the
Yes,
standard number two pencil.
yeah.
But you can get it in 0.7, 0.5. My husband, if he can find it, really does like the 0.3, but that's hard to find. And when you do, you pay for it, let me tell you.
Mhm. The
yes,
number that's on the wooden pencils corresponds with how hard the lead is
Yes.
that's in the
yes,
pencil.
Yep.
It's where the number originally came from.
Right.
And even if you're using a wooden pencil for art, they have numbers on them that are truly based on how hard the lead is.
Yep. Yep.
And it makes a big, big difference.
yes. The point oh .09 is the harder.
Yep.
The
Mhm.
point oh .05 is the
Thinner.
less hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pops when you write.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I hate a mechanical pencil. I can't write with one of them.
that's why I do the point oh .09 when I do a pencil.
I do a 0.09 or I do a 1.3.
If
I
it's not
really
as
Yep.
big
prefer
as
the
a number two
1.3.
pencil,
Yep.
I can't write with it, period. Because it's going to pop that lead every time. I have too much pressure
Mm-hmm. That's why I
when I
go to the
write.
thicker lead. Yep.
Yep.
Uh,
Jeannie says, yep, we used the ink pens. Then in 1970, we had to get Bic 5-color pens, but we couldn't use red.
well,
Oh,
we could
my
only
goodness.
use blue, period.
We had to
Uh,
use black.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll be.
Diane says, on the Vintage Crochet channel, she does mystery crochet. One has a beautiful flower, flat like a
Flat.
coaster, and it was from the late 1800s, the pattern. It was
Yeah.
specifically for using an ink blotter.
Using
Mhm.
as an ink blotter. That's
Yeah,
cool.
the
Yep.
underneath was used, you would wipe your ink off as you were writing so you wouldn't have clumps of ink. But then you could turn it over and it would be a beautiful flower and not be ugly on your desk.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah, you can get the wooden pencils, like the number two pencils you see now that's yellow with the red
Yeah.
eraser on them. You can
Hmm.
get those
Mm-hmm.
type wooden pencils with a different number on
Right.
them. You can get number threes, number fours.
Yeah.
You will hardly
Yep.
ever see a number one, but they do make them. But you'll hardly
Mm-hmm.
ever see one because
Number
the lead
one.
is so hard in it that they won't stay sharpened. They just
Right. Well,
Right.
make.
number one is mainly used for carpentry.
Art.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
art.
the lead too is so dry and so
Yeah.
hard that it's bad to crumble if they
Hmm.
make it small enough to put in one of those yellow pencils.
Yeah.
It makes it so crispy it just breaks all to pieces.
Mary said I went from fountain pen, then big blue or black and red for grading.
Yep.
Hmm.
I
They'll
never got a paper
always red ink
that
pen.
didn't have red.
I never graded papers in red. Never ever. In fact,
I
when
didn't
kids got
mind
to
it.
where they could buy color pens to write with, I told them, I said, I don't care, but no green because that's what I grade in. And they were like, well, why don't you grade in red? And I said, because I used to hate it when I would get my papers back and it seemed like there was more red on that paper than there was anything else. And I knew,
Yeah.
no, no,
See,
looked like somebody
I did
sliced a
not
finger
mind the
and splattered across there.
I never minded the red because I knew that I don't know, I had teachers that would always make comments about what I did wrong and
Mm-hmm.
would ask me
Mhm.
to fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
It was never, and I know
Would never a
later
great
on,
big ink drawn through it. Yeah.
no, no, never. And it was helpful. Helpful. I never disliked the red.
Yeah.
I did.
And
Always
when
did.
I started seeing purple and green and on my
Ew,
kids' papers, I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
that's
is that a
weird.
good thing?
That a teacher or another kid? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I never took it as a derogatory or what's the word they used?
See, there you go, Candy. She says, I hated the red pen. The teachers would bleed red ink on my work. Yep.
Mhm.
I guess I just
Everywhere.
had a lot of correcting that needed to be done.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
shoot. Well,
and it seemed like that red too was the clumpiest little
yes.
balls of ink
Uh-huh.
everywhere. And if you ever touched it, it smeared
Yep.
all over you.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was the fountain pen.
Mhm.
Well, folks, we have been on here a couple of minutes past our hour. Let me
Yes.
just say thank you all so much for spending a little bit of your Valentine with us. I do hope we've been entertaining for you.
Yes.
I'm going to start with you, Connie.
Well, I have enjoyed it. Definitely. I love coming on here and chatting with everybody and with my sisters because, we all live so far away that we don't get to see each other except for on lives and stuff like this. And
Yeah.
it makes my day just to get to talk with them, just sit down and talk like next door neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind. And Sherry,
Thank you all for showing up tonight. It has
yes,
been a blast. We love you. Have a happy Valentine's Day and always smile. Make them wonder what you're up to.
Again, thank you so much for being here. And please always remember, be the light out there in the darkness for someone today because you never know. Could be your light they need to see. We love you guys and we'll see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you guys. Bye.
Right?